So, how do these runners usually start? We're going to see a lot of starting at Link's house. We're going to see them starting Sanctuary.
I could guess, and then I would definitely be wrong. I'm gonna say definitively that Firami starts with Sank, and actually everyone who's not Hitsuyan starts with Sank, and that's gonna be too bad because Hitsuyan gets Flute from Link's house.
Quick look at the map. Looks like we got all light world crystals with a red crystal up at Hera.
All right. Are we gonna get that dream where you never dip Meyer, you never dip T-Rock, and then you hunt for the red cane? God, I hope not. Oh, look at that first tier tree pull though. Hitsuyan kills one guard with the sign as usual, gets 80 rupees for the trouble. That'll be nice heading into Kakariko.
No bomb worries. You can always just go buy some now. Though they did get 50 rupees from the Sanctuary, so you had the rupees anyway. And rupees from the red crab. Or red rupees from the crab. So this is going to be a very plentiful rupee seed.
This is often a nice thing to have. It really helps with that early anxiety if you can just knock out Zora at the start if you're not worrying about any money for the bottle vendor. And I didn't see what was in Lumberjack Cave, but it wasn't anything important.
It was a bottle.
Oh, it was something important then.
But Hitsuyan also found the hook shot in the Uncle area. So Hitsuyan's early play is paying off for him pretty well.
Yeah. With a good runner, they can really use the hook like Hitsuyan's doing here, save a lot of time in overworld movement just grabbing onto various things.
So Lane did a save and quit right after checking the Lost Woods, and he's going to go to Kakariko now with the flute as a result. I think Firami did the same thing.
Yeah, and we saw these runners glance very quickly at the race game and then double back to grab the item, because that, I think, is the red cane.
Oh, there goes your hope for a red cane hunt.
That's probably for the best. No one likes that. But Gem is not down getting that red cane just yet. Gem is up in Kakariko doing Blind's Hut. Gonna see 5 items here. And they're gonna be some bombs, alright. A mushroom. 20 bucks. 5 bucks. Okay, fine.
So mushroom and red cane is interesting early. If we get a hammer or Dark World access and a mirror, it's a potential fake powder opportunity.
That's a good thing to keep in mind. The number of times fake powder actually pays off is pretty low. But the times it pays off, it's a big boost.
Absolutely. Especially if you have opponents who turn in that mushroom and then the powder is buried somewhere.
Yeah, and a big qualifier race like this, if you can be that, or one of that small group that does the fake powder and gets ahead, it really benefits.
There's the hammer. So these runners, if they want to, can check Magic Bat as well in Kakariko.
All right. Heck, they can check Magic Bat before they even got any magic. They don't have to spam Cane forever to activate the fake powder. That is a good way for this to work out.
Well, Hitsuyan will have to spam a little bit because he did get some magic from Escape. Or from Uncle. But I'm actually gonna be interested to see if these runners do that, take that opportunity.
Given that you're right here and it's available right now, I think most runners are gonna opt for that.
I think so too. You can't pass that opportunity up while you're here, and then you can freely turn in the mushroom right after that if you need to. So we've got some nice items early. We've got the hammer, the mushroom, red cane, and flutes.
Yeah, we also got the blue boomerang in the well.
Like, you definitely never want to discourage the blue boomerang, especially early on when you can get some stuns and help you get through some early combat.
Yeah, it matters a little less today when I think everyone had easy early bombs and then just bought some, but still that ability to replenish your bombs potentially from a stun prize or grab more rupees early on isn't to be discounted.
You see Gem grab that cane. He's going back. I think he is going to make the play to magic bat here.
Oh, this is good. I like this.
Hitseon did a save and quit, though, right after Blind Hut, so he's not.
And Fryme as well.
So if this is anything important, Gem's going to get an advantage.
You know, I can see why you'd save and quit out of Blind's Hut. It takes a long time to walk back out of that cave. Cave, house, basement, whatever. And with Flute, it's easy enough to get back.
We'll see what Gem picks up here. 300 rupees. Okay. So not going to hurt you.
That's like the best you could get that isn't a sequence break?
Yeah, because that lets you at least go to Zora.
It's your Zora money, and it's not wonderful, but there are worse things.
Yeah, absolutely.
Alright, Hitseon spamming that king, gonna do the same thing, get that same big 300. The lane's going straight for that mushroom turn in.
He might do a reset if this is nothing. We'll see. Just a piece of heart. He's not going to reset, though. But it's not going to hurt him. He just won't get that 300 pack for now.
That's right. So the lane going to do South Shore area, and Gem, it looks like, is taking that hammer, doing Uncle, and maybe heading into Escape from here.
Yep, looks like Gem's going to head into Escape with a hammer and a hook shot. This will be pretty easy.
And that was a good use of the boomerang in combination with the pot by Gem to stun a guard and then take it out in a hit. And we learned that the stun prize today is a single heart. It's fine. It's fine.
So Lane picks up some blue mail in the dam. Fryme gonna go and check out Agonas. See what he's got.
Gosh, look at the divergence here.
Yeah, it's rare you see this much divergence this early in a seed.
I guess early Flute is going to do that to you, especially early Flute with hammer, so you've got a really good weapon.
Oh, there's a book, a glove. So,
and a glove.
A book would open up deserts. You can't clear it. Definitely can't clear without a fire source. But
where's that fire source we need for desert?
With the glove, you can also check the back of Escape that the lane's going to do.
Yeah, this is a really nice thing to do as soon as you get the glove. Just save and quit, check these fast 3 chests, and if you get a small key and you're confident, you can even run through the basement.
There's our other boomerang, a small key, and a map. Fryme gonna farm up some red rupees, might be thinking about that Zora play. Itsuyan's gonna give us our first look at Ice Rod Cave.
Yeah, a little less painful to get to once you have Flute. Only $20 here. And we see a bottle on the ledge, so the ledge at Desert, so we're not going to be doing Lumberjack for that sick kid turn-in.
That could be our progression, too. It could have been Book to come into Desert just to get to the ledge to get that one bottle. I feel like it's rare that Sick Kid pays off, but it occasionally does.
This is looking like one of those seeds where it's very nice just to have the flute early with all these things spread out like this.
Small key in the first chest of Desert, so we're not boots locked yet. Hitsuyan's going to make the play for Eastern Death Mountain, and we are not boots locked out of Desert today. So if we find a fire source, Desert's completable. Hitsuyan's going to give us 7 chests on Eastern Death Mountain to start in Paradox Cave. For those of you who are curious what Paradox Cave is, just think about it, where the entrances are.
I don't like to think about where the entrances are. It scares my brain.
It does a bit. Oh, that's a bow on the torch in Desert.
Ooh, that's fun. I like this.
And Lamola's also has an item. But we're going to need a fire source to get that item.
Is Hitsuyan going to find that fire source here in Paradox Cave? No, we're just seeing a lot of money and hearts so far. And bombs. No luck.
Now, while that bow is boots locked, but that might not necessarily mean we're going to see boots before GT, because it depends on what bow is the logic considers that to be. If that makes sense.
Yeah, is that the first bow that we need to beat the Armos Knights or get through Palace of Darkness? In that case, we might get early boots. Or is that the bow that's the second progressive bow for Silver Arrows? Are boots locked at the top of Ganon's Tower? Gosh, I hope not.
And
I want boots.
Hitsuyan passed a sword on the floating islands. You have to keep that in mind for later. There's some flippers in the back of Saharsala's hut.
And nothing on the Ether tablet, at least.
Gem's not going to go into Eastern for now. But with the flute, that's easy enough to get back to Eastern at this point. We're still Actually, I was going to say, Hitsuyan did find the Moon Pearl, so Hitsuyan's got Dark World access. Must have found that somewhere up on Death Mountain.
But now, question. Can Hitsuyan complete Tower of Hera right now? Big key on the first floor? Sure thing.
He saw one item in a heart container. Just looking for one more in Hera. This is a very interesting seed so far, just because of how much divergence we've seen. There's a lot of opportunity for runners to go different ways.
Yeah, and a lot of these runners are checking out kind of out of the way, more esoteric things at the start. We've seen 2 Agena checks already, which is, a little uncommon. Perhaps uncommon in a 1v1, but in a qualifier where a lot of the runners are saying, it's okay if I do some extra checks. I just don't want to be left behind because I missed one early item. I can see why they're doing this.
I believe Hitsuyan got the second item. I think it was just some rupees. So, no required basement tonight. Or for tonight. No required basement today. It is tonight somewhere, yeah. Actually, if some of these runners are in Europe, it's tonight by now.
And with only a couple missed swings, Hitsuyan takes out Moldorm. It's going to get that first crystal less than 15 minutes into the run.
There's a cape from the waterfall. Don't know if we're going to need that yet.
I'm guessing not. I mean, maybe, but my intuition says that's not too useful. And I also think Gem's not going to bother with that shield on Zora Ledge.
Yeah, I think that shield's going to be left there for the whole seed. Alright, Gem gonna pay 500 rupees to Zora. What's he gonna give us? Just a piece of hard. Gem's not even gonna bother picking it up. Hitsuyan giving us a Spiral Cave check, just 20 rupees. Now, Hitsuyan, I feel like, has the advantage right now just because he's got Dark World access. Gives him a little bit more to check. Oh, there was a required Sick Kid, potentially. That's a mirror.
Mirror on Sick Kid that you got from grabbing that Desert Ledge bottle. Fascinating. Little too bad for Thelaine that he's going to do Eastern area before he's done Death Mountain. He won't have the Moon Pearl and can't chain these checks together in the East Dark World. But Hitsuyan gives us a map check. We've got pendants in Mire and Ice with the green pendant up in Skull Woods. And did you see where the red crystal was?
I think Thieves Town?
Yeah, that sounds right.
Yep, check confirms Thieves Town. Itzion giving us a check of the Hype Cave. We'll see if it's a real one today. Not really.
There's a bottle there. That could come in handy for Hitsuyan.
So now looking at what these runners have, I'm wondering, is an earlier dip into Swamp Palace going to be required? Because between the runners, we've got everything we need for Swamp.
Huh. Well, I think that over. I'll tell you that Gem got Quake from the old man on the mountain. I can see the early swamp play working because it's a crystal here. I think if it's a pendant swamp, it's a little out there to go for it straight away. But and I still might do a Thieves Town dip first here because you've got the hammer, and again, that's a crystal. But a theme we've seen in a lot of these qualifiers is if you got the items to beat a crystal dungeon, just go ahead and do it. Even if it's swamp, even if it's Turtle Rock, even if it's one of those ones you don't want to, you're going to find your progression in there. And we might be seeing that again today.
Yeah, exactly. Clearing crystal dungeons is always a good idea because even if it yields nothing, you still are progressing through the seed.
I mean, I know we hate left side swamp. I hate it just as much as anyone else, but this is feeling like one of those days we might have to do it.
I'm also looking kind of what we are in items. We're getting a little interesting. We at minimum need both rods still. We need to find a bow, which we know where one is. The question is where the boots are.
Right.
And we still need 2 swords at a minimum. We saw one on the floating island. We'll still need a second.
Right. And then maybe we need that ether medallion that's on Hylia Island to get into Turtle Rock. Maybe the Quake medallion we have is going to do it. Or maybe Bombos is hiding somewhere else.
So Gem's got Dark World access now. Farami probably going to be close behind. And Thelaine's working his way as well.
Oh, this is good for Hitsuyan. He's going back to Sick Kid with that bottle from Hype Cave. Gonna get that mirror before he does too much more of the Dark World.
I think Kitsuyan's next play is going to be Thieves Town. Kind of heading that way.
For a second, I thought I was going to go for a ped check, but I guess not. Not today. Not right now.
It's an interesting thought there. What would be your thoughts on doing a ped check and a qualifier like this when you have an early book?
Oh gosh, I should check that at some point because some jerk with the book is going to check it. And man, if the wrong person checks that, I'm going to have a bad day. And then I wouldn't do it, but that's my thought on it.
That's fair. It's a tough one because it's like it's basically a minute out of your way to go check it, and if it's nothing, then it's kind of a wasted minute. It is better when you have like a crystal skull woods you can mix it in with, because then you're not really wasting much time at all. But unfortunately for our runners today, it's a pendant skull woods.
Oh, there's Titansmiths for Hitsuyan in the bombable hut in Village of Outcasts.
Man, this seed's pretty much almost wide open. Like there is so much divergence you can do in this seed.
Can we get into Misery Mire? Potentially, if we have the right medallion. That's a little
actually we
concerning.
Cannot yet. We do not have a sword. Oh, never mind.
You know, I want to say I was ahead of the game on that with Hitsuyan about to pull the sword, but no, I just forgot about the sword requirement. Oh, by the way, Gem did Harapot. Just throwing that out there. I can't explain how it works. You clip through a thing, but it's going to work out because Gem gets up the dungeon slightly faster.
So we got the big key for Hitsuyan in the front of Thieves Town as the lane takes out Moldorm. Gem will probably be shortly behind. Now, this seed is going so well. I'm still just sitting here wondering what's going to be the chokehold on this seed.
What if there's none? What if we just don't have a chokehold today? What if Hitsuyan goes through here, gets another rod, and then just goes... Or sorry, better yet, gets a bow, goes to pod, gets the rods, and is in go mode.
That would be pretty crazy. It's almost like the exact opposite of what you would expect to see in a seed.
Oh yeah, but it can happen.
It does happen.
I can dream.
I mean, if we had something like that, we'd be looking at finishes probably sub 110.
At this rate, yeah.
There's another sword, and with that sword on floating islands, they can get up to tempered easily enough now.
Oh, that's a nice bit of knowledge to have. Gem is going to take that cape that we saw earlier and run through Spike Cave with it. This is in logic because we've seen bottles everywhere.
Oh, Gem's dead.
Oh no.
He was just one heart too short on there.
I like that moment where he stood there with the block, not taking damage, going, if I just stand here forever, I won't take the death. But I do have to keep playing the game.
Oh, there's our boots.
In Thieves Town. So wait, boots and 2 swords. Come on, Blind, leave some items for the rest of us.
So, I don't think Hitsuyan's been in desert yet, but he's got every motivation to head there now.
Yes and no.
Oh,
We're
yeah,
still lacking that fire source.
Yeah, you're right. No fire source. You can't clear it.
Meanwhile, Gem's doing Hype Cave, Thelane's doing Hype Cave, and if they route anything like Hitsuyan did, we're going to see them head up to Village of Outcasts after this. And that'll come in handy. They'll get their boots, which, you know, the longer they go without boots, the more time they're just going to bleed very slightly.
So at this point, with those boots, we can eventually clear Eastern. Still need a fire source for desert. Pod would be clearable once you grab the bow, though it's still out of logic until you get a lamp.
Swamp's full. But 8 hearts, blue mail, even the dreaded turtle room isn't that bad here.
Yeah.
Where's Thelane going? What's Thelane doing?
Is Thelane gonna make this really different? I think he's got everything for Swamp.
I can tell you what he's not doing. He's not getting the boots right away, but he is potentially coming out with something good.
I mean, yeah, as we mentioned earlier,
this works.
This makes a lot of sense. It's a crystal dungeon. You can complete it right now, so why not? I mean, in Thelane's mind, you have just as much of a chance of finding the boots here as you do anywhere else.
That's right. 6 items guaranteed. And then you're done with this area until later in the game. If you have to, come back for a Pyramid Fairy crystal or something.
So Hitsuyan's grabbing the purple chest. He does not have Flipper, so he cannot do Swamp yet.
That's right. Those are over in Sahasrala's hut at the back.
Gem just picked up his mirror for the rest of his Swamp package.
Oh, he's going to take that hint and just dive Swamp as well, it looks like.
And Hitsuyan heading towards desert. I'm pretty sure he's gonna loop back to 6 and go into the mire area. No, he's not.
Let's see. Well, he left a Dark World portal here, and now is he going north? Yeah, he's got Bonk Rocks, King's Tomb, Graveyard Ledge. He can string all together here.
Thelane's still in checking out Swamp. Gem can give us our first check at the cave south of the Grove. Just a piece of heart. Hitsuyan's gonna take a chance to check Lumberjack, find the bottle there. Thelane is going straight back to Argus. Since he has not got the map or compass yet, this is actually a pretty good play because if you haven't got either yet, you don't want to go to the left side right away because you don't want to risk going to the left side that has just a map and compass.
Yeah, and when you got the big key in the first possible chest, you also know you're not going to hit any weird situations where Argus drops the big key. There is a compass, though, so we're not going to have the God Swamp play.
Hitsuyan finds 300 rupees in Bonk Rocks. And we do have 2 items on the left side of Swamp. But Thelane's going to be setting up for a menu boss.
Yeah, this is the pain of the early Swamp play. It's the incessant menuing back and forth. Hookshot, hammer, hookshot, hammer, hookshot, hammer. Sorry,
Oh.
what?
King's Tomb and Bong Rocks both had 300 rupees today. But yeah. We're going to watch Lane. He's going to try to get 2 puffs at a time to mitigate this a little bit.
He's doing that. He's got a really good menu layout here where it's only 2 button presses to go between the two. Honestly, having a better menu layout can really make the difference in this fight.
I'm looking for Rain. He's they're in sorry, they're in Skullwoods. This is a different way to play Skullwoods, going through that door. Not necessarily a bad idea now that that chest is no longer guaranteed to have a key.
Yeah, and 1 item already.
No fire rod, can't go to the back.
Or did Farami get 2 items since they're leaving entirely right now?
Might have got 2.
Hitsion's going to get Quake from doing the old man retrieval right here. And the lane is heading, of course, back into Swamp Palace for left side.
Hitsion probably wants to pick up his Tempered Sword, and there's another 6 checks you can make up here. Plus, with that Quake, you can start thinking about maybe a Turtle Rock dip, though without either rod, that's a little rough to do.
Nah. If you don't have Fire Rod, you just dip into Turtle Rock. You do those first 3 checks. And you're not really losing time because you kind of have to go through those checks later if you don't do them now. So, works out. As long as Hitsion doesn't get baited into going deep into Turtle Rock, it's all good.
Flame working his way over to left side swamp.
Red Mail in Super Bunny Cave.
Got 4 checks coming up in Hookshot Cave. He's going to check the medallion on Turtle Rock first. It's Ether that we saw on Lake Hylia Island.
Interesting. Annoying, but, Hitsuyan hasn't done Swamp yet. You can chain those checks together pretty easily.
Whoops. Raimi spent money on a potion. Doesn't have enough money for the chest game now.
Oh, no. And Hookshot Cave is pretty empty for Hitsuyan. There was a bottle and a fairy, but that was about it. Or fairy and a bottle, I should say.
Wait, he's going to go get his Tempered Sword. The lane checking left side. We got bombs. And Burna. So, while you did get a crystal out of going to Swamp, I think it ended up being a bit of bait.
Yeah, I can see why you'd want to dip in there with early hook shot, early mirror, early flippers. Like, those all combined together to say, hey, look at Swamp Palace. But now I'm wondering if we weren't given that flippers in the mirror at the start just to get Lake Hylia's Ether. Because that's required for Meyer as well as Turtle Rock.
Yeah. We gotta check of Meyer. It is also Ether to enter. And there's a fire rod and a lamp!
Just take all the fire sources in the whole game and stick them in that same shed next to Misery Mire and hope no one ever looks there. That's actually... Oh, that's so good for Hitsuyan, because he gets his fire sources in the desert area and says, great, now I know 100% I can beat desert, especially with these boots. In doing this, he gets his bow. He's going to get a crystal out of this, and then he can just fly off, do Eastern and Pod chained together, and not that it's a problem, he doesn't even have to worry about dark rooms because he's got his lamp. That's amazing for him.
He'll also grab his flippers when he's going to do Eastern and Pod.
Yeah.
So at this point, he just needs an ice rod. He doesn't know that yet. He still thinks he needs flippers too, but he'll grab flippers here very shortly.
Oh, and Delane checks the vanilla big key chest of Swamp Palace and sees it was 10 arrows. So, yeah, that's both of our items out of Skull Woods. We're not going to see anything good there.
So Hitsuyan heading back to Land Molas. We know Land Molas has an item. Yeah, it seems like every decision Hitsuyan's made so far has paid off so well for him. And I mean, looking at the other runners, none of them have made any bad decisions, but in any means, it's just Hitsuyan's have just paid off.
Yeah, getting the boots in Thieves Town here, like Faram just did, really played nicely into the route Hitsuyan's picked.
But, as we've seen in races before, Ice Rod can change quite a bit. So it's definitely still got a long way to go.
Ooh, Hitsuyan missing some fire rod shots. Good news is Tempered Sword is just a crazy good weapon, and you only need a couple slashes and spins to take out the rest of Landmo and get a piece of heart. And if you're Hitsuyan, your third crystal.
And Prime gets a second crystal from Thieves Town as well. The lane most likely going to be heading towards Thieves Town now. Gem going to go pick up that Ether Medallion, which is good. Going to need it for, at a minimum, Turtle Rock.
And Hitsuyan shows us Checkerboard Cave is no use to us today.
And as expected, Hitsuyan heading straight to the eastern area. He's going to do Pod first, stopping by Saharsla on the way, get his flippers.
This, again, Hitsuyan doesn't quite know this yet because he hasn't seen his flippers. This is going to work out really well. He's got his 5 to 6 crystals, so he can clear out Eastern Pod area. If that doesn't have Ice Rod for him, then he can do Swamp. That's not going to end up having Ice Rod, but he's right by the bomb shop. He can do the Pyramid Ferry right there. This is just going to chain a bunch of kind of annoying checks all together and make them slightly less painful. Now, if Ice Rod ends up being in Mire or something, that's going to work way against Hitsuyan. But I think most of our runners are going to avoid Mire here.
Yeah, you've got no reason to really go into Mire yet. At least, especially at least for Hitsuyan, he doesn't, because he's got at this point 3 crystal dungeons he can clear.
Now, the one question is, I'm not actually sure. Did Hitsuyan even scout the Lake Highland? Did Hitsuyan even know whether or not Ether is in Logic or available?
That I don't know. I don't think he has because of the way he's been routing. So,
oh
yeah,
my goodness! Look at that first chest in Pod. It's the other bow. You didn't even need boots. I'm a little angry about this.
I don't blame you.
I'm only mad because there's someone in this race who just dived Pod hoping, and it worked out for them. I don't know who that is, but and I'm happy for them, but I'm mad.
That's fair. Everami going to drop off the purple chest, the lane and gem, both in Thieves Town. Hitsuyan's still looking through pod, mostly going to find small keys in the front. Especially now he's found one other item in there. Hitsuyan just going to go for the vanilla big key chest here. Definitely not a bad idea if you have a key, just to get it out of the way. You don't want to head to the back without the big key. You don't want to have to make an extra trip back there if it's not back there.
I think this might have been one of those times we knew that was a small key.
There was a high chance of it being a small key. And now that guaranteed it would have been a small key.
Yeah, for those that don't know, the front of Palace of Darkness always has at least 4 small keys in it. And if it didn't have that many, you could lock yourself out. So if you're opening your chests in the front part of pod, and you find, oh, I've only got 3 small keys, then you can skip that vanilla big key chest safely, because you know it's going to have a small key for you.
This is an interesting play. I kind of like it, actually. Well,
I like this.
Necessarily.
What's he doing? What's he doing here, JP?
He's going to kill Helmasaur first. Which is interesting. He's got to kill Helmasaur either way. And by doing it this way, he actually isn't losing any time. Because you'd mirror after checking the back of pod anyway.
Right.
And I was going to say, if there's one item from Go Mode, this is a great check, because if you happen to find the Ice Rod here, you save yourself a bunch of time. Unfortunately for him, he's still 2 items from Go Mode, so he's probably coming back in item.
He's 2 items from Go Mode, but he also hasn't seen a map or a compass yet, so it's possible that he goes through here, gets an item from Helmasaur, and then he might be able to skip 1 or 2 chests just doing the back of pod. And you're right, this is terrain he'd have to cover no matter what. If he ends up in Go Mode from all this in his mind, so much the better. We see people do a similar thing a lot of the time in Misery Mire, and of course in Tower of Hera, though it's always obviously good to just skip the basement if you can there.
Well, Hitsuyan knocking off the mask of Helmasaur, just 1 silver arrow, and Helmasaur's down. Flame picks up a bug net as Gem takes out a blind. And Hitsuyan's at 4 crystals. Yeah, Hitsuyan going back in. Got more chests to check in the back of pod. As you said, if he does get to the point where he knows he only has the map or compass left, he can just mirror out right after that. And then he can obviously mirror straight into Eastern. He's starting at the compass, so he's just looking for a map. Or not, he's not looking for a map, he just has the map to watch for. That's a butter sword.
Oh, okay. Okay, so if you're a runner in this race who doesn't make the trip back up to the floating island early, you're probably going to get that your tempered sword out of the back of pod, and that lets you skip just 1 little check or 1 little trip up on the mountain.
It's interesting. I think feel like 20 minutes in, we had not seen 1 sword yet, And now at 45 minutes, Hitsion's got all 4.
I blame Thieves Town. Other runners are doing things as well, I suppose. Faraimi finished Thieves Town, took the mitts from Village of Outcasts, and went to Mire-Shed, got the fire sources, and is doing that same play Hitsuyan did, where he gets the book and he gets the bow and just clears out the rest of the desert.
Yeah, we've mostly been focusing on Hitsion since he's just been covering the most ground. The other runners are still in pretty good position, too.
It's funny, it feels a bit like the other runners are just following in Hitsion's footsteps, and to an extent they are. The difference being that Hitsion might end up back in Swamp pretty soon. But you were saying,
like, you know what the lane just did? Did he do? I forget the name of the trick. It was like the purple chest deletion or something.
Yeah,
like...
purple chest or ghost purple chest, I like to call it. Turns out if you left the purple chest somewhere in the Dark World and you mirror when you're standing next to the guy who opens the purple chest, Gem's going to do it here as well. You just mirror while you're standing there, and before the game gets rid of the purple chest, the guy opens it for you. He's got some serious skill.
Lane taking the big bomb, gonna check Pyramid Fairy.
But JP, there's no big bomb following the lane.
So he did a little trick so that basically the second the big bomb exploded, he screen transitioned, and the game put the bomb back behind him.
It works. It works. Comes in handy. Pyramid has bombs. Heart container. No ice rod.
So if we don't see that ice rod here in Eastern, this turns into a certified ice rod hunt. And then Hitsion, well, Hitsion will obviously his next check will be Swamp, regardless.
I expect so. He does. I'm a little worried for him. He does have to at some point just check that Lake Hylia item.
Yeah, he's going to. If at a minimum, I think he's got flipper checks to make before he goes into Ice Palace, and he'll do it then. But you have to start thinking about those pendant dungeons a little bit,
no.
Especially.
No, I'm not thinking about that. But I guess we have to.
You don't want to. We just have to. I mean, especially from our perspective, these runners probably aren't thinking about doing any pendant dips yet. But from our perspective, I don't know if there's another item still in Armos here. But if there's not, you have to start thinking, when do you consider a pendant dungeon?
The moment I've got all the crystals outside of Turtle Rock. Well, or is it after you've dived Turtle Rock as far as you can?
And that's always the question. Do you go for a pendant dungeon? Do you go through as much Turtle Rock as you can? But it was not in Eastern. Is it on Catfish, as the lane's checking right now? Nope.
Well, Gem is up in the Turtle Rock area, already picked up that ether from Lake Hylia. I think we're going to see Gem check Hookshot and Super Bunny Cave, and maybe dive back into Turtle Rock here.
I think, as you said earlier, you check at least as far into Turtle Rock as you can go. especially since you have the mirror. So on the off chance you can advance a little bit farther through it, you can also potentially grab Mimic Cave.
Oh, yeah. Alright, Ferrimi and Pod now picking up that second bow, and is going to do a full clear of this dungeon. There's a neat thing they do that people have started doing with that statue in the second room, where if you hold a spin as you're pushing the statue, you can charge the spin, bounce off the mini Helmasaur, and just shoot yourself up towards the door. I don't think it saves much time, but it certainly is swag.
Absolutely. So Gem gonna go grab Tempered Sword first. Don't blame him at all. You want Tempered Sword. If you see Tempered Sword, if you see Tempered Sword, it almost never matters how much of a time loss it is, unless it's a huge one, like 10-20 minutes. But even up to like a minute or two beyond out of your way, you're gonna go for it. I mean, at a minimum, it's gonna save you that much time on Ganon. Well, maybe not that much time, but you want it.
It's a Ganon time save. It's a time save on a lot of the smaller bosses. And it works really well just going up the gauntlet. A couple of the enemies die in one hit as opposed to 2 Master Sword hits. And that makes a big difference. The lane we see doing Mire Shed, getting that double fire source, which I still think is a bit funny. But Gem, with the early T-Rock play, gets a big key in the first chest. And without a fire rod, can't go any further. Gem is out of there.
But he's probably going to go back and check Spike Cave again. After taking that death his first trip in.
Oh, that's right. This time we've got Cane of Burna, so there's definitely enough magic to get through. But Gem also bought a red potion, didn't he?
Yeah, he did, because he couldn't get into... He couldn't do the chess game because of it.
Right, so worst comes to worst, that red potion will work to get him through the rest of Spike Cave.
He'll be fine this time. And just bombs. So yeah, this sea just turned into an ice rod hunt.
Ferrimi got the powder inside the pod dark maze. I'm wondering, surely Hitsuyan picked that up as well.
Yeah, he did. I saw him pick it up.
Yeah. We also know that Hitsuyan did the early fake powder, so grabbing powder at this point isn't a huge deal. Gem now doing the Mire check, gonna get that double fire source. The lane waiting for the wall to move in Desert Palace. Being Lanmo here is going to give a 4th crystal, which in some ways puts him in second out of our 4 restreamed runners, if you're counting crystals only as your metric of who's ahead.
By the way, if you're Gem right now, are you a little ticked off?
Yeah. Yeah, it's a little annoying to get that far, get stuck because you have no fire source, and then go check Mire.
The lane has Landmola's down. Gonna grab his 4th crystal. Hitsuyan's about to grab his 6th.
1 silver arrow to the Argus center. But 6 crystals is great. Without Ether, without Ice Rod, you're not in go mode still. What does Hitsuyan do? Probably Pyramid Fairy.
He's not doing left side swamp. Unless he... No, I'm pretty sure he didn't do it first. That's an interesting call. It's going to pay off for him, because there was nothing on left side swamp. And I will say, if Hitsuyan finds Ice Rod before Ether, that could end up being pretty good for him too, because it'll save him a potentially extra dive into Turtle Rock, but it depends on where that Ice Rod is.
let's be real. It's probably in Turtle Rock, or at least the odds are good enough that it's in Turtle Rock that I can see a lot of the runners trying that before they dip into a pendant dungeon. Worst comes to worst, you get to Laser Bridge, you have no ice rod, you take the safety door, you conserve your portal, and you run through ice and mire, hoping that your portal stays intact.
So I'm thinking about where Hitzion is. Since he hasn't been into Skull Woods yet, if you're going to dive a pendant dungeon, you're definitely going for that first, especially since it's green pendant.
That's probably true when there's 2 items there. 3 when you can green pendant.
It's a quick check. You could also, if you really want to, loop the pedestal in, just to make sure.
In this situation, if I beat Mothula and I have Mirror and Book, I'm checking the ped right after. If for no other reason than peace of mind. But, if I know my Ice Rod is on the ped, and I know I have to beat Ice Palace, doing a Go Mode Ice Palace instead of a full clear is a huge time save.
Exactly.
Mire too, potentially, depending on where the big key is.
But Hitzion, of course, he's going to do the pyramid check first. There's essentially 3 checks for him because he can basically tilt check the ledge as well. I don't know if he's been into escape yet.
I'm not sure.
He definitely did Uncle because he has hook shot, but I don't know if he ever went into the front of escape.
There's a lot for Hitzion to do. There's escape. There's running up to Catfish from here into the Zora area.
That answers our question, and he has not done the front of escape.
So this is where Hitzion's 6 crystals are great to have. It's great to be 1 item from Go Mode. But in this situation, Hitzion, now is going to find himself going back, doing the things he didn't do earlier, and other players are going to seem to pick up a little time.
Oh, I don't think we've seen Dark Cross, and that's where Hitzion's going first.
Yeah, we have not seen it from anyone.
We know this is an item because we've already seen the small key and the map. It's just 50 rupees, though.
Delane picks up that Ether Medallion from the lake. Gets himself 1 item from Go Mode, and we're going to see Delane do that Pod Eastern combo that everyone else either has done or is in the middle of doing. Gem, right now, getting that bow from the first chest in Pod.
Yeah. As you said, this is where we're starting to watch Hitzion's lead diminish. The longer he's taking to go through these locations that the other runners did, the more that lead evaporates. Now, he does have boots that will help him save some time that the other runners didn't.
That's right. When the others did escape, they had to walk through all those long passages, and Hitzion just gets to dash down them, saving a second or 2 on many of these screens. Having Butter Sword for the blue guard, 1 slash as opposed to charging a spin. One dash into the ball and chain guard. These things do add up, and it works well for Hitzion.
Let's see, I'm back into his portal. Might do a catfish check now. Still has not looked at that Lake Hylia Island. I'm pretty sure at this point we can confirm he hasn't, because he has not made any effort to go check that island.
Yeah, if this works right for him, he might end up checking it after checking Catfish area, Zora area. not, I start to get a little worried.
It really does come down where that ice rod is. If, say, that ice rod is in Turtle Rock, then not knowing where that ether is going to hurt a little more. If ice rod somewhere else, that could end up helping him. Lane and Gem both going through pod. Brime's got his 5th crystal. Now going into swamp.
So if you're Hitsuyan here, and you don't know about Ether, maybe you just go into Ice Palace. Or as you said, maybe Skull Woods. I can see either of those being the play.
So you're gonna save and quit.
Oh yeah, I'm not walking out of Zora area.
Starting at Link's house. He's heading right. I think this might be his Lake Hylia Island check. He's gonna probably loop it in with Hobo.
And he jumps down, sees that ether medallion, and spins around like Abe Simpson to hop back out of the water. Well, that's one mystery solved.
So Hitsuyan is about to be 1 item from Go mode. Actually, most of our runners are 1 item from Go mode at this point. All of them really just needing that ice rod.
Unsurprisingly, it's the same item for everyone.
And we do have all of Turtle Rock except for Trinex to check. We also do have all of Ice Palace and all of Myers sitting out there still, as well as the green pendant. Yeah, Hitsuyan. This is not a surprising play at all. You're going into Turtle Rock. If Ice Rod's there, you're in Go mode, and you're right next to GT.
And if it's not there, well, probably half the other runners did the same dang thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Gem and Lane giving us simultaneous Helmos arcing fights.
Armos is
hits
next.
On the mask with the hammer. Yeah, I was getting ahead of myself. And Gem's got Butter Sword, so doesn't even bother switching to that that silver arrow. For 1 hit, just 2 Butter Sword swings takes this out.
So Hitsuyan about to open Turtle Rock. 5 items in Turtle Rock plus Mimic Cave. Trying to think what else we have out there besides Turtle Rock, Ice Palace, and Mire.
I feel like a runner has checked all of those things. So for those of us watching 4 people at once, we've seen that it's down to a dungeon.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we've covered every overworld location at this point.
Hitsuyan first chest in TR we know is that big key.
So we're gonna see at least 1 small key over here. Might see another. We have to at least see 2 small keys between here and Chain Chomps.
Oh no.
Okay, there's no overwood spot we haven't seen.
There's that lovely shovel in Turtle Rock. So this is actually, I say oh no, and we laugh. This is actually fine for Hitzion. What you do is you just take the shovel, you go all the way through the dungeon. And if you don't find the ice rod, as we said earlier, you take that safety door. You can check your shovel spot and you don't even lose your mirror portal. It's way better to get through this whole dungeon and then worry about shovel than do what some people might do, which is, oh gosh, I have a shovel, let me panic and go out.
Yeah, exactly. Just you have to go through this anyway. I mean, with that big key early, it might be a little bit more tempting to do that, but either way, you have to go through this dungeon. You're not going to save that much time. Just keep going. Gem with 6 silver arrows takes out Armos Knights.
7. Jim really disliked that top wall and just had to get an arrow into that. I don't blame him. I hate that top wall too.
Farami gonna check the Pyramid Fairy, get disappointed. Farami's at 6 crystals, Gem's at 6 crystals, the lane's about to get a 6th.
If I'm Farami in this situation, I checked the Pyramid Fairy 2 chests. I see there was no ice rod there, and I go, oh, thank goodness. Because that's been in logic for so long, and Farami's put it off for so long, that, you check it out of obligation at this point, and you just hope that 12 other runners didn't get that early.
And Gem, Farami both making the same place, Hitzion going for Turtle Rock. Will the lane join them? I think the lane might have some chests left in Palace Darkness to check first.
Oh, that's interesting. Dip out early. Go beat Eastern entirely, because you are that one item from Go mode, and if it's in Eastern, hey, now you don't worry.
Well, it wasn't in Mimic Cave. Not in the big chest. We've got 5 chests left.
Right, this is Faram's first trip up in Dark Death Mountain. We saw that Golden Sword was still up on the floating island, but having Tempered already, at this point, you don't make the trip through for that one sword. You just say, I know how to beat Ganon fast.
Exactly. It's not worth it. The difference is not enough time to make up for the time you'd spend grabbing it.
Jim picks up that shovel as well.
Hitzion's approaching Laser Bridge. Here we go. Ten arrows. Compass. It's not on Laser Bridge. Last chest is a small key.
Okay. Well, this is terrible. This is just the worst spot to be in. This is just like,
unless it's
where
the
do
shovel.
I go? Right, but I've got a 6-sided coin I can flip here, or 4-sided coin I can flip here to see where I can go to come up with the ice rod. How do I flip it? Or, I guess, what do I roll on the die?
I don't know. If it's not shovel, this race just got really interesting.
So I'm with Hitsuyan here. I think you do the shovel check first because it's one quick check in the world. If it works out, you don't touch a dungeon. If it's half magic, you get all your magic back, which is kind of convenient to have.
Yep, and he's going for Skull Woods, I think. Or no, he's not. Is he gonna ped check first?
This is not the path you take to do a ped check.
Or did he never check Lost Woods?
No,
he never checked Lost Woods.
Oh my goodness, you're right.
But the lane's checking ped.
The lane, check ped for us. Find its 3 bombs. We're not worried about this. Okay.
Ped.
The lane still has to check the old man cave for this.
Now Hitsuyan's checking the ped and get that same news.
So, Gem and Farami going through Turtle Rock. Hitsuyan already been through Turtle Rock. I'm wondering, is the lane going to stick with this, or is the lane deliberately clearing things up before doing Turtle Rock just to avoid that double dip?
Hitsuyan, I think he's going for Ice Palace first.
I want to say so. This doesn't surprise me. He seemed to be on the path to Ice or Hobo. This looks like Hobo.
Oh yeah,
he was on the path to Hobo before finding Ether. Then we saw him do that hop into the water, circle around to go grab Ether, so I can see going back to Hobo as kind of part of that chain.
So this race is basically turned into who finds Ice Rod first. As soon as Gem clears out Laser Bridge, he's basically caught up to Hitsuyan.
Oh, and Hitsuyan's doing a Gina's Cave now. This is... Oh, these are a lot of locations left behind.
Remember earlier in today we were saying this could have been a sub 110 seed?
I remember you said that. I stayed away from using those words because, you know, I hate it when I say that and it's not true. But yes, I remember when you said that.
Okay, that's fair. I did say it, you did not. But at this point, Gem and Hitsuyan are basically even.
And Gem has decided Misery Mire with that Ether Medallion is going to be the play.
And Hitsuyan's going for Ice.
Oh no.
This could be the race right here between these two.
Get your coin flips in chat, everybody.
We've basically got Mire, Ice, and Green Pendant. That's all we don't know. First chest of ice coming up for Hitsuyan. That's item 1.
Now, Hitsuyan's going to have a long time before he gets to see another item. There's a large number of rooms to clear here. Whereas Gem's going to have a lot of checks in quick succession. First one's just a small key.
To answer a quick question in chat, we have seen both of the actual dungeon items in Skull Woods. Neither of them were important, but nobody cleared it, so Green Pendant is still outstanding. And with Farime clearing out Laser Bridge, it basically caught up as well.
Oh, Hitsuyan, you have to, go back, get the small key. You can't just run through all these rooms.
There's the big key for Gem and Meyer. Gonna go do the cutscene chest.
Oh, and good call by Hitsuyan here. Use that fairy in a bottle before trying the bomb jump when you're on 1 heart, because otherwise you're just taking damage and sitting through a fairy revival cutscene. Oh look, Farime's checking the shovel spot.
So where does Farime go next? If Farime goes to Skull Woods, I think we're gonna have some pretty crazy.
Farime's doing Ice Palace. But Gem has found the ice rod in the Misery Mire big key chest behind that cutscene wall, which, amusingly, you needed those fire sources from Mire Shed to get to. That is go mode for Gem.
And he's taking a death.
Farime and Hitsuyan.
He's taking a death to save his portal.
This is good.
So Hitsuyan and Farime are going to do a full clear of Ice Palace. It's going to put them significantly behind. And if we remember back to the start of the seed, what was Gem's file name?
Protect Bonta, I think.
Yep.
Good news, Bonta.
Hitsuyan's going to take a death here to save his portal as well. Also says goodbye to his shield. With red mail, this is kind of painful.
Yeah, so Hitsuyan's doing the same setup with the same goal Gem was going for. It's just a lot harder to do right outside Mire. I mean, bonus is you lose your shield in the process, but you also lose your bombs, which I guess you don't need immediately.
Gem heading to Trinex with Gold Sword. This is going to be very quick. We'll see if he goes for a 0 cycle.
Oh yeah. Get behind Trinex, hit that head as soon as it starts moving. 3 hits with the Butter Sword on each head. And if you did that fast enough...
Oh, he just missed it.
Which we didn't see here. Ideally, you're fast enough with that the center head doesn't even extend once. As it is, that still goes pretty smoothly for Gem. And he gets to take out Trinex first, as Hitsuyan is just entering Misery Mire. That's a heart container for beating the boss. That's a 7th crystal. That's, oh my god, that's a lot of numbers in chat already. I don't know.
So if you haven't been here before, what we'd like to do after the player gets their 7th crystal, 22 chests against Tower, one of them's got the big key, get your guess in chat where it is. Since this is a qualifier with other people racing, there is no official game, but you can still play. Hitsuyan's going to be in go mode in a couple minutes. We'll see how he plays Mire, though. Because a lot of runners like to skip that cutscene chest until last.
Farime was about to save and quit out of Ice Palace and then stayed in, maybe miscounted for a second.
Alright, Gem is into Ganon's Tower. Small key in chest 1, small key in chest 2.
Right side play. Going straight through tile room, and
the lane is joining everybody else in ice.
Oh no! The lane, no!
Yutsian's gonna get the big key here. We'll see which way he goes. He's leaving cutscene chest behind for now. It's chest 3, chest 4, chest 5, and chest 6. Not on right side of GT.
Just a map on the torch, so turns out we didn't need those boots for anything. We just liked having them to get that bow, that first bow, so we could have silvers later on.
Yep. That's our 7th check. We got 4 more coming up. Here's 8, 9, 10. And chest 11 has our big key.
All right. Gem is going to take that, start climbing the tower with a whole lot of gear. Only 13 hearts, but with butter sword, with silver arrows, with red mail, there's pretty much no danger here.
Hitzian will be in go mode in about a minute. Farami also joining. Hitzian and Meyer going to be in go mode shortly.
And Gem gets the proper fast cycle on that switchblade room. If you start dashing at just the right points, you're going to find yourself dashing past both of the Igors. You're going to find yourself dashing down past all the moving spikes, and you'll be able to get through that room without getting hit. It takes a fair amount of work to learn consistently, but boy, when you got that down, you can make it look easy.
So Hitzian takes the death after he gets his ice rod, save his portal to laser bridge. He's in go mode now.
The idea with that is that every time you use the mirror, your portal resets in the overworld. And if you save and quit, you lose it. But if you take an overworld death, then the game's going to bump you back into the light world because you haven't beaten Aghanim. And your portal stays where it is. Which means now that Hitzian has the ice rod, he can loop around to the top of the mountain, jump down to the safety door, go through that portal, get stuck behind a dead rock along the way, unfortunately.
Ouch.
That's a bad way to get stuck.
I don't think anybody likes dead rocks at all.
Oh, and I like the lane's way of doing a death warp out of Ice Palace here, standing on the spikes, which are always going to do 1 heart, until he gets down to almost no health. Then he mirrors out. So he's only dealing with this picket outside for 1 heart. That's a pretty clever play. Mitigated by the fact that he had a fairy that he forgot about. Oops.
We've all done that.
We've all done that. And everything else Flane did was really clever there. So dang.
I noticed one thing for Joe I just noticed. It was a little bit gutsy for him to not check that shovel. He just knows he doesn't have half magic. Unless he did see the half magic and just decided not to.
He didn't go anywhere near there. He just went straight to Meyer, I think.
Hitzian not even going for the going for the 0 cycle, just going for the 1. But Gem is just an Aghanim kill and a Ganon kill away from finishing this race.
Where's Ferrami?
Oh, he's going for Vitreous first.
You know, I see the appeal in doing this. I know I've done this too. It just hurts a little. It's a little annoying to do.
Unfortunately for Ferrami, he also needed a good finish today to try to get into that top 32.
That's right.
And this is gonna hurt him. It's gonna hurt him a bit. But Gem's got Aga 2 down. It's just a Ganon kill with Gold Sword. He's gonna cut through Ganon like butter.
Oh, is that why we call it the Butter Sword?
Sure.
But yeah, Golden Sword, 6 hits in the first phase of Ganon. Oh look, Gem's got that already. As soon as that Trident pops up, 6 hits in the second phase of Ganon. Gem's going to do this swag dash inside the circle to really show off. Now you just have to dodge the bats, which you can do with surprisingly little movement. And look at that, we're into phase 3.
Just one swipe as the floor falls each time. And now 4 silver arrows. I'm not sure if I can get a triple from here. We'll see.
Oh, so close. I do admire how he didn't go for Torch Glitch there, because when you have silvers, you don't need it. That is 4 hits. That is going to be enough to take out Ganon. And the second, Gem is going to cross the... And not only does Gem win out of these 4 runners on the restream, Gem has won the entire race with an official time of 1 hour, 27 minutes, 38 seconds. So congrats, GG's, good work all around.
Meanwhile, looking at the restream, Hitsuyan about to grab his GT Big Key, Elaine and Ferrami are both... It's hard to not do the alliteration on those two. It's not alliteration, the rhyming, I guess, but they're going to hit go mode about the same time. See if Jim's going to join for an interview. I forget if he does interviews or not. Now, one difference between these two runners, Ferrami did not save the portal. Thelaine did. So Ferrami's got to go all the way back through Turtle Rock.
Oh, and we do have Gem joining us here. Gem, congratulations on a stunning victory here.
Yeah, well, thanks.
So I have to ask Misery Meyer, what pulled you there? Because that was the right call. We saw everyone else touch Ice Palace, and it worked out for you.
Yeah, luckily. Well, I don't know. I was just kind of tilted. Because I went to Swarm before Village of Outcasts. It was like really slow, and I missed the boots on Village of Outcasts and 2 swords, so Argus was slow. So I wasn't really happy with that. And then I went to Dark Death Mountain before my area, which is something I don't usually do, but I tried finding a fire source for DP first. And of course, both of them were in Maya Shed, so yeah. And with this being my 6th qualifier, I was like, saying screw it. Don't really need to be safe. I'm in the top 32 guaranteed, so I'll just go to Maya, because it's where most people probably won't go.
Well, that seemed to be true, and it certainly worked out for you here.
Yeah, really happy with that.
So you said this was your 6th qualifier, with you already very high in the rankings. What made you step up for round 6 when it wasn't really needed?
Well, two things. So one of them is I looked at Brain's prediction rankings thing, and if I were to win this, I could like go all the way up to like 4th place in total, which seemed really cool. So I tried going for that. And I also wanted to protect my man Bonta from Hitsuya. Which worked out, so that's cool.
Yeah, it seemed like for most of this race, it was going to be Hitsuyan's race, and then it came down to that ice rod.
Yeah, silly ice rod.
Yeah, we to contrast between the two of you, we saw Hitsuyan route very aggressively at the start, and then end up checking a bit later on. Well, to an extent, you were the opposite, being a bit more thorough in your overworld checks at the start before diving into Dark World.
Yeah, I always try to clean up Sphere 1 as good as possible, with like checks that don't really lose time, like fluting through Sahasrara if I have gloves, so I can easily go back to EP anyway, and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And well, it worked out because like most of these checks I did in the Light World had something. So yeah.
So, there is one more qualifier tomorrow. Are you going to do a 7th, or are you going to take your spot here and say that's good?
No, I'm good. I think it's at a very EU unfriendly time anyway.
Yeah,
so
that's true. It's I think 3 a.m. in Europe essentially.
Yeah, and I gotta work the next day, so not happening.
So you're definitely going to be in, as you said, one of the top runners. Will be in that top bracket or top group of 32 when groups come out. How are you feeling as the group announcement is will probably come up sometime in the next few days?
Yeah, well, I'm looking forward to it. I don't know. Like, it's not like I feel all that safe being in the first pot of runners, because there's like a bunch of really good players in like the lower pots as well. So yeah, I can definitely see a bunch of groups of death happening.
Yeah, I think, previous tournaments we've said, oh, this is the one group of death, or these are the two groups of death, and I think we're going to have more than that this time around, which I think is good for the player base overall.
Yeah. I mean, that's always really cool to see, though, because it always makes for exciting races in the group phase already. So yeah, looking forward to that.
I don't want to say that's all we're here for, but that's a lot of what we're here for.
Exactly.
Hitsuyan's just finishing up the Ganon fight now. Gets Ganon stopped in the bottom right corner of the screen. 2 hits so far. And in a second, gonna be going for that 4th one. Farami doing a right side check as well, and Thalain already up the tower on the Landmo 2. But Hitsuyan is going to walk across that and finish 4th overall in this race with an official time of 1 hour, 34 minutes, 27 seconds. Lin came in 2nd, and someone 325 coming in 3rd. Jim, you beat everyone by 5.5 minutes. I just want you to know that.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
And we are already joined by Hitsuyan in here. Good work on that run, 4th overall.
Thank you, guys. GG's.
GG, man.
So, Hitsuyan, you know, we saw you do the sensible thing. You run through Turtle Rock, you save your portal. We saw you check Shovel immediately after. And then we saw you run back into the forest. Was that an intentional skip early on, or was it only at that point you realized, hang on, I missed 2 Sphere 1 checks?
After my starting route, I went the bottom of Keck, and then I did the fake powder and all stuff, and then I don't wanted to go up again because I had the flute and can do everything what I missed now, checking fast later if they have something, and then I got my Dark World access, and yeah, I know if I forfeit this race I'm still top 10, so I was going to win this race. That's why I did stuff like Skullwoods too. And because Skullwoods and this position was on the same position with the mirror, so it would be nice to check it later together. So it was not a big orphan for me, this spot.
Okay, well, you know, it worked out. Was there any panic at the end, or were you just pretty sure you were still safe with that ice rod look?
No, after I founding this ice rod, I was really sure 1 or 2 players are finishing now 5 minutes or 6 minutes ahead of me. And I expected that everyone will dip into Turtle Rock in this instead of going to Maya. Not sure because the flippers was also in Sphere 1 and I skipped it all the time, so I never checked where Aether was, so I found that very late too. And then I had only some spots open like Swamp left side, Maya, Skullwoods and Turtle Rock dip, so I went to Turtle. Because I have no spot left, only Swamp with the mirror, so I can save Scum the...
Yeah, we did enjoy your jump right into the water and then back out when you found Meyer hiding, or Ether hiding on the island there.
Yeah, at the end it was, I guess, Gem's fault and Ice Palace. Reaching place 1.
I'm sorry, man. No, not really.
Now look at on stream, Thalane is on the last phase of Ganon. Going to be finishing up his seed here shortly.
Just misses the triple there, but he gets another double for a 4th hit.
So looking at our race results, Thalane will finish in 9th place. Actually, a tie for 9th place at 138.36. Tied with Shiva Hayes 87 with the exact same time.
Yeah, P-Train, Yagamoth, and Christos Owen and Top Life also sneaking in just ahead of them. But still 9th overall for Thalane. Going to give him a very solid finish today. I'm not turning my nose up at that. Thalane will not be joining us for an interview today. And I doubt for him he will either. Something tells me.
So you asked Jim about his thoughts going into groups. What about you, Hitzian? How are you feeling going into the group stage?
I mean, it's shuffled from new again, I think, because every of the top 100 or more can win against each other. If you do some plays that pay off really good or something like that. And I'm very happy that there are different modes.
All right, you heard it here first, folks. You too have a chance to beat Hitsuyan. It's challenging, but there's a chance.
Yeah, that's always an interesting thing to see with these races. On any given day, when runners are this close in skill, or even if there is a small gap, any runner could beat another runner. So it is you definitely cannot count anybody out.
And Farami finishing phase 3 of the Ganon fight into phase 4. Doesn't get a double at the top of the room. And is Ganon low enough here? Sure is. That is a very nice triple at the end there.
Farami crosses the bridge, finishing in 15th place. Our second tie. He finished in a 15th place tie at 141.23 with prior 57. We had 2 ties in this race.
2 ties that high up in the rankings. Also sneaking in there, Scrub Casual, Yoshi, Nif Boy, Lunchtime. So overall, some really solid runners at the top, and I was really pleased that all 4 of you on our restream today just cleaned up and were in that top section.
And if you want,
great work all around.
We keep it with the ties. We had another tie right after them. Dataplit and Aussie 101 tied as well.
So, with Thelaine and Farami not doing interviews today, I think we'll wrap things up here. Jem and Hitsuyan, any final thoughts you want to give us?
We want to thank you guys for the tourney. It's really amazing, and thanks for picking me up in my last qualifier. Wishing everyone good luck and have fun in the group stage.
Yeah,
thanks.
Also validating my thoughts as well.
Thanks, guys. And yeah, thanks again for doing this. I want to give a big thanks to Kippy00 and Zelda Desan, who were clicking those buttons, tracking this for only about an hour and a half or a little more. But thanks for doing that, because it makes the stream so much more watchable. If you want more Link to the Past Randomizer qualifiers, we are basically... There's one tomorrow night at 9:15 Eastern Time in the evening. And beyond that, you're going to have to sit and wait. At some point in the next week or so, I expect we'll see the groups come out, and then it's going to be matches for days. So tune in, stay tuned, get ready for that. If you see yourself watching this match and you think, hey, I bet I can track. Hey, I want to try commentating. Head on over to the tournament Discord. Use those volunteer sign-up links, and we'd love your help. We're running so many matches. We need tons of volunteers for this.
Yeah, I think looking at the start of group stage, just the first round of groups is 128 matches minimum. So we definitely will need the help.
Yeah, please. Please. Anyways, thanks to Speed Gaming for restreaming the match today. And JP, thanks for joining me as we got to see 4 people just kick some butt. And almost everyone saved their Dark World portals, which is a ton of fun. Thanks for tuning in, chat. I've been Filean. Have a good afternoon.
Have a good day or good night, everyone.